What is the best shoe for movement training? We're about to find out. Movement training means different things to different people. Obviously, you need footwear to suit your activity and what you're doing. In the context of how I look at movement training, I love to work on gymnastic rings. I love to do gymnastic strength and mobility, handstands, and I absolutely love locomotion and soft acrobatics and that type of work. So I've been inspired very much by the likes of Ido Portal, Tom Wexler, Gymnastic Bodies, the GMB guys. So these have been some of the influences in the way I've created my movement practice. I've also done some BJJ, no shoes in that. But what I thought I would do is break down the shoes that I use in my practice, and let's get to the bottom of it, which is the best shoe of them all for movement. Here's a bunch of the shoes that I have tried and used. So I've got somewhat of an educated opinion on this topic over the last 5 years while I've been practicing. My favorite shoe of all, though, is the bare feet, of course. So as often as possible, I try to work out, train, practice in bare feet. But there are some scenarios and some modalities or niches within movement that bare feet just doesn't cut it, and you don't get the most out of your practice or the drills. So let's dive a little bit deeper into that. When I first saw Ido Portal online, and when I took my first ever seminar with him, everybody was wearing these. These are Feiyus. They've got Feiyus written on the side. They're a canvas shoe with a rubber sole. They are very, very bendy. There's almost zero support. They're a Chinese martial arts shoe, and they come in white and also black. These are the black ones that I have. So I've had 3 pairs of these in 5 years. And as you can see, these black ones are a little worse for wear now. They've got some holes. The white ones, they also have some holes in the toes there from pivoting and spinning on concrete. So, like everyone that gets into movement, I bought these because I saw everybody else wearing them, and I didn't really know what else to try. So I had a standard pair of joggers like this that I went to the seminar in, but I found the padding in the heels. I just couldn't feel the floor like everybody else, and everybody else just seemed so much more nimble and agile in these. So I bought a pair of these. At the time I bought them online on the internet, and they were about $35 Australian, which is probably, I don't know, about 25 bucks US. The advantage of a shoe like this for doing something like locomotion on concrete is there's very little tread on the bottom of the shoe. So it makes spinning and rotating and sliding quite easy, as opposed to your regular trainer, which has quite grippy tread. These are designed to grip the ground. So when it comes to spinning and pivoting, you can actually risk your knees. And yeah, I've seen somebody hurt their knees wearing a pair of these, trying to do locomotion, trying to spinning. There's just too much purchase on the ground. So you've got increased pressure on the joints, especially the knees. So that is why these tend to be favored when it comes to that groundwork on concrete. So why are these in my collection? Well, I originally bought them because I was doing some walking. I had an injury and I was walking and I thought they might be comfortable. I got a lot of feet pain from these, so I would not recommend them for that. I think you're better off with something less padded. It gives you a false sense of security when you're heel striking. That wasn't good for my gait or my feet. However, I have found a use for these when I was practicing and learning helicoptero, which is a skill I'm still working on. I found these pretty good because they padded my feet. I was getting some heavy landings and they were kind of nice to just do that in. So they saved my feet because I was trying it bare feet or in the Feiyus, and I was getting some slamming on the ground and that was causing me some feet pain. So these have come in handy. What about skate shoes? Something like this. These Adidas, however you say it. I bought these because they look cool and I thought they're pretty flat, so maybe they will be good for locomotion. Where I live, it's hot. It's a subtropical climate, and I found my feet just got super hot. These made me hot, and they didn't have as good a feel as the Feiyus, so I preferred to use these, and I didn't really use them when it came to groundwork. I don't really go to regular Globo gyms, but and I try to squat bare feet anyway, but if I was squatting or just doing sort of static lifting or strength and conditioning, you could wear these. They're not very comfortable without socks. That's the other thing. I tend to wear the other shoes like Feiyus without socks. So yeah, I don't really suggest these for movement training unless you're just doing sort of static strength and conditioning. But I have some other options. Let's get to those. This is Sparta! Okay, my Roman sandals. They're actually called Earth Runners. I first came across these from Ben Greenfield. He recommended them. These are very, very comfortable. These are 5 years old, and they've got the Vibram hard rubber soles, but they're very grippy, and they have a lovely sort of strap that goes through and between the middle toe and the second toe, and around the ankle we have these loops. This is a nice fabric that's very comfortable, and there's a little plastic clip there that you can adjust with. There's also a copper plug feature. This might be a bit woo-woo for most, but apparently if you get struck by lightning, you will die because you are earthed. You are grounded, my friend, to the Earth's meridians. So whether or not you want to take that on, I don't know. But for like hiking, scrambling, walking, and just as you can see, they're so minimalist. So if you're looking to get into barefoot work, strengthen your feet, these are amazing. When it comes to locomotion though, I found that I was scraping the tops of my feet, so they weren't ideal. I have tried these. I tried them in front of the Sydney Opera House down beside the Sydney Harbour Bridge actually, and the ground there is quite coarse concrete, and I did manage to scrape my feet. So I think if you're going to get into locomotion and groundwork in particular, it's good to have something over your toes, but in terms of like hiking, scrambling up rocks and stuff like that, these are unreal. Which brings me to my final solution that I've arrived at and I've been wearing lately if I have been doing locomotion on concrete or on gravel or rough dirt where you need some support. That is the Dunlop Volley. Now, these are very popular in Australia with tradespeople like painters or roofers because they have a rubber sole, very, very grippy. People walk up roofs in these and they're bendy. So the tradesmen who are climbing up on trusses and on roofs, they love these. And they're fairly similar in price to the Feiyus. This is the good news. So these cost around $30 or $35 Australian. So probably around that $25 mark US. You can get them in a range of colors. You can get them in white, black. They have different colored laces. And all I would suggest is just making sure that they're fairly snug on your feet if you're going to use them for movement work, because if you have them a size too big, I made that mistake once and there was a bit of like too much toe in the way and I lost a bit of feel. So I dropped a size and they were really tight on my feet and they just felt really amazing. And they're quite a soft, sticky kind of rubber, but they also slide and allow you to move. So they're very comfortable without socks. They've got sort of some padding around the ankle. So I have fallen in love with the Dunlop Volley. They are made in China, like most things these days, but the 1939 they were established. They were popular with tennis players as well back in the day. So for the price, for the thrashing that you give them during locomotion, I really recommend Dunlop Volleys. So the verdict is for movement training, the Feiyus are out at the moment. And in my opinion right now, I am loving the Dunlop Volleys. I'm wearing these guys for most of my movement work. When I'm not wearing, nothing at all. So always try to go bare feet if I can. But if I'm on the concrete or a rough surface, these Dunlop Volleys are my shoe of choice at the moment. I will leave a link in the description below on where you can get these off Amazon. Otherwise, that is it for today's video. Smash the like button if you got something out of this. And don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.